This is a movie that makes people feel desperate. The ending of the movie is chilling. David's family heads to the basement for the night. And the next morning, the house was a mess. Houses were damaged, water and electricity were cut off, so that they could see a thick fog drifting in the distance. On the way, they saw an army rushing towards the fog. Arriving at the supermarket was overcrowded. While queuing up for checkout, several soldiers walked into the supermarket. Police cars and fire engines roared by outside. I have no idea what's going on, and that flood of crops is coming. An old man came running with no information, ran out of the overtaking car and was about to drive away. People were so scared that they shut the doors of the supermarket. Some people suspect an explosion at a nearby chemical plant. Some people suspect that it is God's punishment. This is a short-haired woman who says he can't stay here. But when a woman asks for help, everyone went silent. No one dares to risk their own life. Seeing everyone so indifferent, women leave in despair and land, and they all go to hell. We spent some time in the supermarket. David goes to the supermarket warehouse to find a blanket for his son. I accidentally noticed a lot of smoke coming out of the emergency generator. David was so scared that he ran back to the supermarket. Although nothing was found, something seems to be blocking the exhaust valve from the outside. Just opened the shutter. A tentacle wrapped around his foot. Spring froze in place. Brave David grabbed the cinema and screamed for help. The store manager reacted and brought a fire axe, just cut it off again and dragged it away from the cinema to drive away the tentacles. But it wasn't just the fire department that cut it down. Then they told Norton that there were monsters outside. He accused them of change. Make a fool of him. In desperation, parents also took my sister to see the assistant. Everyone bring heavy objects to the window, but Norton didn't believe there was a monster out there because he didn't see the kid with his own eyes. A cult member in the crowd immerses himself and lived in the first sacrifice. Most people are running awake with Uncle Hat following the excited little fight. Amanda can't take it anymore. Sister David is driving to find usable weapons. He doesn't really know how to use it. So he put the gun in his hand. This is Norton's wretched "some people don't want to sit still." They didn't believe it. He believed that the only way to save his life was to go out and seek rescue. So a group of people walk out of the supermarket. The other end of the rope seemed to be pulled into the air and disconnected in an instant. When they pulled the rope back, what they saw was half of the uncle's body. In preparation for the coming night, Wanran people are eating. Suddenly a huge moth flew onto the glass. Then more and more people looked at the flashlights curiously. The glass was smashed. The glass was smashed before I could close it. The moth got into the supermarket. A woman was covered by a moth and fell to the ground, convulsing all over. Just use a torch to drive away moths. In the panic of the strange bird, someone kicked the gasoline down. David takes a torch, lights it up, kicks a spoon, a mop, hits it with a stick. With the concerted efforts of everyone, the monster in the supermarket was finally eliminated. Some people can't stand the fear and caress suicide. David plans to wait until dawn to go to the pharmacy next door to get his medicine. Anyway, staying here is a dead matter, both horizontal and vertical, and it will break through the supermarket sooner or later. I don't know which of them cheated and was pulled out of the trap by them. Amanda is unbelievable, and he also believed that human nature is inherently good. A person can do anything as long as they are afraid enough to become his followers, regardless of more people, until a sober old woman smashed her with a can. Uncle Cat discovered a terrifying scene. Someone died in the spider web, and suddenly a corpse grabbed Uncle Hat. It's all our fault. It's all our fault. And then the body suddenly explodes and a group of spiders burrow out of the body. Leave a trace at the moment of landing. The skin of the leg fell off in an instant, and even retreated to the door while fighting, but was stopped by a bigger spider. He managed to survive, but unfortunately 2 people died. He didn't want people to die because of his decisions, and the female cult here has developed a large number of believers. So these people encouraged David to flee together. What he would say to the military police first, doesn't understand why he keeps saying sorry. The remaining soldiers faced the pressure of the crowd. Design. Cave traps, soldiers, they stabbed them with knives. Poop begging? But the people inside were indifferent. David and the others can't help at all. Poop was taken away by monsters in full view. The female church tells everyone that it has been sacrificed today. Finish the monster won't come to us again, and David realized that if this continued, more and more people would be brainwashed. However, the women had long expected that he would not be allowed to call them out. His supermarket has all the rights left. He incites the believers and traps David's children. During the riot, a gunshot suddenly rang out, and someone else shot to defeat your demon clan's abdomen. But the battery just found the car, but it was taken away by a giant monster. Then start the car and flee the place in the eyes of the overtaking crowd. After parting in tears, we went all the way south as planned. Along the way, they saw all kinds of tragic scenes and all kinds of bizarre creatures. Hearing the cry of a monster in the distance, my heart died. But there were only 4 bullets left in the gun. David decides to face the monster himself with a private gunshot. David shoots all 4 people, including his son. Then he gets out of his car in despair and waits for the monster to arrive. But the next was this the day? The dimensional monster defeated by smoky wind. Belated hope this man is more desperate.